Mm.
Good morning, and thank you so much for joining me for Modern Living with Dr. Angela. I am your host, Dr. Angela Chester. Today we are speaking with author Phil Mitchell about his book, The Living Spring, inspirational quotes of wisdom and strength, healing, moving waters bring spiritual meaning to his journey from America to Ireland. Topics will include motivational, life, Christianity, science, faith, and more. So there is a little bit of something for everyone in this book. Now, of course, you can get a copy of it on Amazon, and the Goodreads list is also listed there in the description. Good morning, Phil. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now, I love the title of your book, The Living Spring. Did you find that the title came to you first, or did you kind of discover the title out of your writings? Did it come to you later?
Well, it kind of came to me after I had gone to see the Pope in Ireland, Phoenix Park, which means clear water, back in August of 2008, and I got to see some of the springs in Ireland and got to visit some of the springs that St. Patrick used to talk about scriptures in the Bible to the people there centuries ago. And also I went to a spot where many years ago St. Brendan supposedly set out on a voyage to discover America. So the whole book, the idea of the living spring really came after I had made that trip to Ireland.
You know, I love how so many times when we are able to see this beautiful world that God has created, that it really opens our eyes and we have a different relationship with the world as a whole, but then, you know, how that affects our lives. So it sounds like that was definitely a positive change for you. Now, the topics that you have chosen to include in your book, why did you, I know this is a very broad question, but why did you choose the topics that you chose? Were they important to you, or did you think that people don't talk about it enough? What was behind your motivation there?
Well, in Revelation 22:1, the angel, there's a passage that says, the angel showed me the river of the water of life, as clear as crystal, flowing from the throne of God and of the Lamb. And I think in a living spring, especially with the coronavirus, is coming into our lives. The Holy Spirit is there to help heal us, that we come to God for healing, whether it be a marriage or our family, that we come up to those waters, the Holy Spirit of the living spring, the waters of life. And that's how we greet Him at times.
Now, for so many authors, when they are still in the very beginning stages of their writing, they're thinking about a particular audience. Like they're trying to write this for teens or for stay-at-home moms or, you know, people that are out of work. When you were writing, did you have a particular audience in mind, or did you try to keep it, was your aim for any and everyone who picks up a copy of the book to be able to enjoy the journey with you?
Well, kind of had the audience, you know, of course I was visiting Ireland at the time, but really I had the audience too of America. I'm not only an author, but I also write music. I've written 3 music albums. When I wrote the Crossroads album, I stumbled upon something that spoke to my heart, as if all came upon me at once, to reach out strong, to build no fear, to stay strong, and to have hope. the word spoke to me with a profound spiritual meaning that made me stop and want to grasp the moment. And I think now in the coronavirus, as we spend more time with our families and those we love, those words are even more true, the importance of coming together and putting priorities in our life.
It's so funny that you say that, or quite interesting that you say that, because I said the same thing the other day in a conversation, that if we take this moment to slow down, to heal, to rediscover, or to discover, I think that we could use this time to benefit our spirit, to benefit who we are just as humans, as opposed to some of the other stuff that's going on. I remember what it was. I read an article that said that the smog has cleared, that some of the rivers and things that the earth itself seems to be doing quite better, since the humans have taken a break from our usual routine. And what a wonderful way to pandemic. So I have to agree with you on that. Sometimes you just need to slow down and appreciate what we have. Now, for so many people, they don't really think of their life as a journey, or that the things that they do along that path as going on a journey. Can you explain to us, when you use the word journey, and even though we know that physically you left America and went to Ireland, what does the word journey mean to you in context to the book?
We're all on a journey. The planets and the sun are there to support life on Earth. We are just part of a garden that surrounds a living spring. It is life itself that is the driving force of the universe. It is up to us to help preserve this garden before nature takes its course and returns us to the right course. So being on a journey, we're all somehow connected together in this garden around the living spring. And I just consider myself part of that journey, trying to do what I can to read scriptures, in my faith with Christ, but also, too, how I react with other people to help serve them, to reach out in love, to be something meaningful in this garden.
I absolutely, positively love that answer. I think people forget many times that we are all interconnected. It may not be on the outside that we seem that we are connected, but when we kind of get down to the very fibers that make us who we are or what we are, then we really and truly are all connected to one another. And I think the earth appreciates the fact that when we realize that, and we are very gentle with her. I have to agree with you on that. Now, for so many people, one book is not enough, and they have been blessed with several books on their minds. But others say, I wrote my one, and I'm done. Where do you feel that you are as far as writing books? Do you think that you would like to write more, or do you think you're done for now?
Well, I'm an artist. I create music. I've written over 70 original quotes. I can never say I'm done, because part of my faith is interacting with God, letting him be the driving force, the person who's leading me, and not my own will, but his. And so I don't know if I'm done, but it's been an incredible journey, and I'm just thankful for everything I have and the words that he gives me at times to share with other people.
Absolutely. One more question for you regarding writing is concerned. For so many people, when they're writing, they feel as though they have to have a certain environment. And it needs to be quiet, or they need to be, like off in the woods or to themselves or anything. When you were writing, did you find that there was a particular atmosphere or surrounding that you needed to have in order to be most productive?
A lot of my quotes, they came out of the own experiences of my life, and I was trying to find the truth and meaning and what was going on that God would show me. So I don't know. A lot of it comes about, like you said, from the journey. Right now, as I'm on the phone, my wife's a certified. She's a teacher, and she's on the phone right now with her students. So because of the coronavirus, sometimes we just have to make do wherever we are.
Yes, and I love people that are flexible like that they can adapt to the given situation. It doesn't mean that you love it. It doesn't even mean that you like it. It just means that you understand that there has to be this change for this moment of now, and how can we try to get through this as positively as possible. I have to agree with you. Working from home is maybe a little easier for me than it would be for some, but it's still working from home. It's not going to the office, and it's talking to clients using video instead of being face to face with them. It's different, but it's still available. So I can understand. Well, I'm so glad that your wife is a teacher. I say that because I have many teachers in my family, and they are a special group of folks, and they're teaching our future. So tell her, hang in there. Thank you for being a teacher and having a positive effect on our students. So I love that. I love that. Now, I know I said that was the last question for you, but I do have one more, and that is, as we wrap up, if you could share one bit of wisdom, a negative wisdom for someone out there who is feeling less than positive right now, what would you say to them? The part B to that question is, to an aspiring author who says, I don't know if I have this book within me. Really, I think I want to do it, but I'm just...
Yeah, I would tell them to reach out to God for that peace and love that comes through the Spirit. And a lot of times it's hard, especially in these days with the way things are going, with this virus, that we just have to have strength within us, and knowing that, God, He's in control, and that if we just reach out to Him, we can find that peace and love and help us get through things.
I love it. Well, Philip Mitchell, thank you so much for coming on and sharing about your book with us today. The Living Spring sounds like it is an awesome, awesome book. And don't forget, listeners, it is available on Amazon, of course. Thank you again, Phil, for being on with us today.
Hey, thank you so much for inviting me.
Listeners, we need to take a short break. We'll be back right after this.
Being with Infants by Montessori teacher trainer and world-renowned child specialist Beverly Kovach is finally on DVD and digital download. The long-awaited 3D disc set is essential for any new parent, grandparent, or infant caregiver wanting respectful relationships with infants and their care. Being with Infants is broken down into 20 easy-to-digest video lessons, complete with demonstrations. Everything from diapering, feeding, the proper way of picking up infants, sleep, crying, environment, play, weaning, and much more are covered. Being with Infants is available on DVD and digital download at Walmart, Target, Barnes & Noble, and Amazon. Order today and be sure to follow Being with Infants on Facebook for free bonus content.
And we are back. Thank you so much for tuning in to Modern Living with Dr. Angela. And one of my favorite parts of the show is saying a thank you to everyone who is tuning in, and especially to those countries that made our top 5 leaderboard. This week it is the United States coming in the number 1 spot. Thank you, home country, for being number 1. Number 2 is the Philippines. Thanks, Philippines. Number 3 is Australia. Thank you, Australia. Number 4 is Canada. Thanks, Canada. And number 5, last but certainly not least, is the United Kingdom. Thanks, UK, for coming in the number 5 spot. I appreciate each and every one of you tuning in. If I did not mention your country this time, that's okay. Simply listen in, and perhaps you will be up next week. Well, until next time, everyone, I pray that you continue to do well during the coronavirus. And if it has touched someone that you know or someone that you love, my heart and my prayers are with you. We may be alone, but we are in this together. If we remember each other and lift each other up, then perhaps it could be that much easier. Until next time, everyone, may you have great mental health, but may you also have it with a good book. Bye-bye.